which was segregated in Mississippi, that it was illegal to have a segregated Democratic Party, and that our group was the one that was really the legal group, and I had the legal slate for that election. So I would say the other, like, greatest moment was the March on Washington, because I was involved with Sncc in New York and other groups, Fire Busting, and several people who were organizing the March on Washington. We started from the ground floor, and then it worked. And millions of people descending on Washington, or the March on Washington, which laid the foundation for so many things. Those are two great moments. Worst moment, scariest, one-on-one kind of scary, is when I went into civil rights. A couple of us, we stopped to go to the gas station, and then I had to go to the bathroom because I had, from the north, and I had been in Mississippi maybe 2 years at that time. So I went in to go to the bathroom, and there was the white women, and then there was just another bathroom. So I went to go into that bathroom, and the owner of the gas station came right up to me, looked dead in my eye, and pushed his jacket over and showed his gun and said, "You go in there." And that was it. And so I left. I didn't go to the bathroom. That was very scary. A big white policeman that had a gun in his hip, and he was getting ready to use it.
Okay, the greatest moments for me is the travel. I love traveling. Every time they say, "Come on, it's okay, wait for me." Here I go. March on Washington, no names, I kind of propose it. But this particular incident down there in St. Augustine with Andrew Young, we had this meeting, and he says, "Okay, tomorrow we go to the restaurants and we do this and blah, blah, blah." We go to the restaurant, and of course we were thrown out. Police came. We go jump in the ocean. Next step was in jail. I said, "Oh, just rest. Now, I'm not for this jail thing." I hung in there 8 days, and I told Andrew, I said, "Now,
I'm down here,
you still want me to go to jail?" But we made fun. We did the best we could there. They served us this big food at night. So that was
Worst moment. Worst moment we've ever seen. The Bobby?
Oh, yes, but let me tell you about that. I was so angry I didn't care. It was a bad thing, but I was so angry I didn't have time to be afraid. So I would just never, like saying, "Well, I'm afraid to do this," and, like I said, if the white people, the white girl fake, she's still on the case. She would run around there with a black folk and this little white girl, and something bad was going to happen. But I said, "Well, okay, if you all can do it, it's all right with me, So, just like I said, that's going to jail thing now.
But when you're entertaining the students of the
Oh,
house of
yes,
students.
I know, kept the house I was going, I all went around down wherever they, you know, knew that they didn't have to answer to anybody, they could come and go as they please, so. It was y'all on the cake.
Okay, greatest moments? I think my greatest moment was when I came in contact with SNCC. It's seldom in life that you have an opportunity to meet 100 people who have intelligence level that's outstanding, who have compassion, who were willing to struggle, willing to debate issues, talk to people, teach people, and also, most importantly, learn from them. And so it was a superb, I call that my university experience. That's my PhD. The men and women I met in SNCC, when I first encountered SNCC, I thought it was a student organization, obviously by its name. But when I arrived in the organizational system, I found that that was not true. There were a lot of students, and people here have spoken about student population, the organizing effort, but there were people of all ages, all generations, gender. I mean, it was a phenomenal situation. For this to be your first organizational experience, you couldn't even have written a script in advance because there's no way to have a model for it. And so the people I knew 40 and 50 years ago that I know today are marvelous people. They never stop struggling. They are diversified in their attitudes and their skills. And SNCC, as an organizational system, a teacher, a lawyer, a consultant, a community organizer, all these people fit in this organizational system. And one of the things I also learned from the organizational experience in that effort was that everybody didn't have to march, everybody didn't have to go to jail, everybody was not expected to do the same thing. You were expected to do those things you felt qualified to do, those things you were interested in participating in, and nobody said, well, you didn't go to jail, so you don't count. There was no kind of, that wasn't part of the mix. So it was a fabulous, fabulous experience. In terms of fearful moments, I don't really have a lot of fear because I don't believe that I walk alone. And I do remember being scared one evening. There were 3 Selma to Montgomery March efforts. The first one was called Bloody Sunday. The second one, first one I didn't go on. The second one I went on, which was a couple days later. The third one was when you had the National Guard come in and people proceeded on through. Well, the third one, when we were coming back from Montgomery, SNCC people then, a SNCC car, Stokely Carmichael, who's also known as Kwame Ture, was driving. I think James Foreman was in the car, who's our executive director, etc. And we're riding from Montgomery back to Selma, and we don't see a car on the highway. And that was kind of fearful, because we were figuring, okay, where they coming from? Everybody got, we had 8 guns, but it wasn't amounting to much if you were really under attack from a force. But that's the only time I really felt fear. The other time I really felt great anxiety was when Sammy Young was killed. He was somebody we'd gotten to know from Tuskegee students who had come to Atlanta several times, gotten acquainted, who were doing work in Tuskegee in that area. And when on one of these trips they went back to Tuskegee, and Sammy asked to be dropped off a little distance from where his location was. And I guess he was feeling the power of the movement. They didn't show him his gun. And he went to the bathroom and came out, and the man that owned the store or whatever was there shot him in the back of the head and killed him. So I went in as a soldier. I didn't think about living or dying or things happening to me negatively or positively. I just was going forward. I didn't have any question marks. I figured what would be, and I would deal with it as it occurred. And that's how I deal with life anyway. So that was not abnormal for me. That's the worst I can think.
In the book, you talk about just a few weeks before Malcolm X was killed, that you went up and you brought him back down to Selma.
Well,
Tuskegee?
I didn't bring him. Silas Norman was project director